Travel nursing can bring you to places you've never been before. Tell us your story.
Hello, good morning. It's Rita at the Travel Nurse Channel, and it's Tuesday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, as usual, and I hope everybody's feeling okay. Today's my birthday. And my daughter and my granddaughter sang me happy birthday. Hold on, my granddaughter. She seemed to know at 15 months. She's been to a few birthday parties. Too. And she was in attendance for singing happy birthday. Anyway, I was born in 54, so you could figure out the math. I am a very senior citizen, and I'm very blessed to be celebrating yet another birthday. The Travel Nurse Channel is live on Facebook and YouTube, and we're here pretty much every Tuesday. And we talk about all things healthcare related, and particularly topics that are of interest and concern to those that are in the travel nurse business or in the travel healthcare business. So we are here as a conduit for those that employ travelers and for those that do the traveling or are thinking about doing the traveling. We sometimes talk about things that affect students. We sometimes talk about topics that are critical to patients. And today I thought I'd talk about part of communication that is actually a big deal. So small talk can achieve, what did I say? I wrote it down so I could get it right. Small talk can be big talk in achieving nursing goals, in achieving healthcare goals. I guess I should put it that way. So, so I thought it was a good topic. And oh, let me get my comments line open. So you can, if you want to jump in on Facebook and make any comments or ask any questions, or have a different topic or something off topic, off today's topic that you that I can help with, please do. We're here for you, and we're here for you employers, we're here for you recruiters, we're here for you nurses, technician, therapists, all the different healthcare disciplines that travel. And I'm a little casual today because part of my celebration is meeting one of my very best friends, and we hope to sit on the beach, even though we have June gloom, clear to the end of June and probably through some of July. We do get that on the coast down here in Southern California, but not a problem. Not a problem. We will have a wonderful time. And so, yeah, kind of casual. Kind of casual. Anyway, let's get to the topic, the small talk. So communication, you know, it is a key thing, and I do believe it's part of the curriculum in most programs, particularly for nurses and doctors and those in healthcare. We are huge communicators. We are talking to patients about things that really concern them, their health, their treatments, their disease process, what to expect, and so forth. So we talk about things that are hard to talk about. And I made some other notes here. Let's see if I can pull that up. About general communication, I have 9 or 10 things that are just good in general communication. And by no means am I an expert communicator, but in my career, I have communicated a lot. I come from a medium-large family of 6, and my daughter will tell you, she's heard this from me, that communicating to me is like air for other people. I need to do it. I need to do the communicating. I'm not a quiet person, and I have to work hard at being a better listener which is a piece of communication. But I do know that to have some skill and some expertise in communication is going to be important to your work. So this is not specific. These notes that I made here are not specific to nurses, but they're kind of the basics of good communication. So I'll start with simplicity, meaning to use smaller words. You do not want to impress everybody with your vocabulary, and now we're talking about pretty much communication with patients being critical, but communicating with your colleagues, with your with other members of the healthcare team, and that can be anyone from the neurosurgeon and the gastroenterologist and the communicable disease physician to people in administrative positions, to people in housekeeping positions, to people in security. You know, there's a huge conglomeration of people that are related to you, that you will be relating to on behalf of your patient and to do your work. So, so simplicity and using understandable everyday language is going to be very important. So simplicity is number one in communicating with any of the above. And particularly patients, you don't want to use too much of the vernacular that we use for, like vernacular, that we use for diseases and treatments, etc. Like ad lib, or the abbreviated things we use to refer to organs, and TID, for example. If you take a medicine 3 times a day, we might say TID. We use that sort of Latin background, OS for the left eye and OD for the right eye, or both eyes, or whatever. So that is the professional. We abbreviate those things because we have a lot to communicate with our professional colleagues, but in general, we have to use simple language. Simplicity is key. So that's number one. Brevity. So bad at this. Short sentences. Short sentences. Right? Keep it brief. Brevity. Very important. Because too much information is not going to be helpful. So, for example, if you're talking to a patient about a procedure that's going to happen in the next 30 minutes, they're probably anxious, right? So you want to use brevity. Let's use a bronchoscope as an example. Patient has been probably told, has probably signed not a release, a consent for the procedure, and they haven't received any medicines to calm them down yet or whatever, and so they're coming to you, the nurse, and other members of the team, respiratory therapist, whoever else may be involved. Sometimes for a bronchoscope, there may be more than one therapist, there may be more than one nurse. Usually it's one physician, one nurse, and several respiratory therapists, but there could be others in the room. It's very specific to what's going to be happening that day. And so I recommend brevity. Generally, the nurse is the one-on-one with the patient, and then the respiratory therapists are getting the equipment ready and so forth. So it can be pretty daunting. And depending on what they're doing, if they're going for a specimen or whatever, there could be gowning involved, and special masks now with COVID, or if there's TB suspected or whatever. So you want to keep brevity as part of the conversation, and let the patient know, this is what's going on. These therapists are getting your equipment ready for you and for the doctor, because he will be scoping to visualize different parts of your breathing tract. Keep it simple. Breathing tract, doctor, technicians, therapists, we're here to help you. And then if you're the nurse, you might want to say, Once you're tubed, I will give you signals and maybe tell them what that is. Hold your breath. I'll say, hold your breath. That'll be my symbol. If you're in pain, you can let me know. When I ask you, blinking your eyes, let me know you're in pain, whatever. So you don't want to talk too much about pain. Discomfort. Anyway, but brevity, I think, is really important. So we've gone through simplicity and brevity. I wasn't very brief in talking about brevity. Sorry about that. Credibility. Credibility is always important in every conversation. And if you don't know something, you don't want to have a discussion about it. So if the patient is going to be getting a very new and specific treatment, and you have not been trained on it, and somebody's going to be coming in to talk to them about it, and they say, can you tell me more about the new MRI at the university hospital? You want to be completely honest and say, actually, I am not familiar with the new equipment. I can tell you what an MRI does, but Mr. Jones is going to be in here soon, and he is one of the technicians running the new MRI machine at the university, and he's going to tell you everything you need to know about it. Sorry, I couldn't tell you more, but be credible. Be credible. Don't make it up as you go along. Not a good idea. Consistency. And for example, if you tell your patient something and they don't understand, you don't want to just repeat the same thing. You might want to state it in a different way that might be more understandable. So, so let's stick with the bronchoscope scenario. You're having a bronchoscope today to discern whether or not you have TB, tuberculosis, or to determine, to rule out tuberculosis or something like that. And the patient goes, I don't understand. I don't have tuberculosis. The doctor wants to make sure that you don't have a disease process. So he wants to rule out what's going on by taking a specimen, by taking a look. So you want to restate it, but you might want to rephrase it as well. So, so be consistent, repeat if you need to, but maybe rephrase if you need to. So there's a bunch of other things. Speaking aspirationally, that's not necessarily going to be applicable in communicating with your patient. Visualize. Visualization's nice, but you know, that might be good to help your patient relax using a visualization. Asking questions, a simple question to make sure, for example, if you're telling your patient about their bronchoscope, you might want to say, I hope I've made that clear. Is that clear? Do you understand what I've told you? Do you want me to, do you need me to repeat anything? You know, so asking questions can have a lot of impact. So how are you feeling? Or if a patient says, I'm very nervous, you might want to repeat that and say, you're very nervous, or maybe they just say, I don't know how I'm doing. You don't know how you're doing? Or you having, you don't want to, repeating their question can really lead to good communication. So, okay, how are you doing? The patient says, I had a rough, okay, so your patient comes in for their bronchoscope at 9 or 10 in the morning. They've probably been fasting. You say to your patient, good morning, how are you? How are you feeling? And they say, I've had a rough night. So you might want to repeat that question. You've had a rough night, because it might encourage them to say more. Yes, I tossed and turned. I was very nervous about this procedure. I couldn't remember what the doctor told me. So when they tell you more, then you know where to go in the conversation and how to help them best, right? So I'm not used to wearing these little feminine little things. I just put it on because it's warm, and like I said, it's going to be a beach day later for me. Lucky me. Anyway, One of the final things I want to say is be relevant and keep it within the context. That's going to be very helpful in communication in general, because we go off subject. How are you? Did you enjoy your breakfast? You know, that can be off subject. We don't want to talk about breakfast. This poor patient has been fasting, you know. So that's those general communication things that I kind of wanted to get out of the way, not specific to nursing, but things that are helpful to all kinds of communication. So I want to remind you, everybody, right now too, that this is Open Line Tuesday, and we are live on Facebook and YouTube, and we are here for nurses and therapists and technicians and all people that travel and don't travel. Maybe you're thinking about traveling. All people thinking about traveling. We are here for those that employ travelers, people that recruit travelers, people that work with travelers, family members, seasoned travelers, newer travelers, nurses, etc., etc., etc. So we're here for all of you, and students, new nurses, seasoned nurses, career healthcare workers, whoever is interested should come here, should know about us. And I'll give you a website and the phone number. I think the phone number can be seen right on the screen, but I'll reiterate it. It's 800-737-6518. You can call us anytime. We're on the Pacific, we're on the West Coast, so we're on Pacific Standard Time. But if you don't get us, if we may be sleeping, you know, because it's my birthday and I'm ancient, but I hope to get more ancient, actually. And if you want to send us an email or visit our website, it's www.travelnursechannel.com. Particularly if you want to be a sponsor, we have some wonderful sponsors that employ nurses, that employ travelers, that have services for nurses and travel nurses. We've had financial people as guests that are sponsors, people that provide housing, recruiters, companies like that, doctors, all manner of people are sponsors, and all manner of people can be sponsors. And I invite anyone that is in this realm of healthcare and travel healthcare to check it out. www.travelnursechannel.com. Tell your friends about it and call us if you need any more information. The website's pretty easy. And if you want to email me, it's Rita, R-I-T-A, at travelnursechannel.com. If you want to be a guest, if you have a question, you can stream it right now on Facebook. I'm here for you, and I'll be here probably till about 11, and then back every Tuesday. Okay, towards the end of the month, I'll be gone. I'm meeting a group. We're going to Montana, and we're going to have some communing with nature and Lake Flathead, I believe it's called. So I'm not going to commit to, I may record something for that Tuesday that I'm gone, but most Tuesdays I'm here. And lots of times we have wonderful guests. So let's see. So my topic is small talk, and how small talk can really be big talk in achieving your nursing goals, because it opens the door to good communication and helps your patient. So I've read some interesting things and experiences that other nurses and other special healthcare workers have had. And then I have a list of people that specialize in different things. And so the first one on this little blog here, where is this from? All Nurses. all nurses. This is a site most of you have probably been to from time to time. And the title of the conversation here is Small Talk with Patients, What to Say. So this one nurse says, and it's so nice, and I understand it completely. Depending on the patient, I like to inject a little humor in there. I'll say something like, other than the fact that you're in the hospital, how are you doing today? Right? Because we're always going to say, how are you? What brings you here today? Well, hopefully you know. So maybe not what brings you here today, but I think that's darling. Other than the fact that you're in the hospital, how are you doing today? Not how you're feeling. Obviously, if they have grimaces, or if you know they're coming to you in the x-ray department because they have a multiple fracture in their shoulder or their arm or wherever, feeling, they're going to say, you know, I'm in a level 10 plus pain, so I don't think you're funny. But, you know, that demonstrates, that little bit of small talk demonstrates understanding. Other than the fact that you're here in the hospital, or other than the fact that your arm is in a giant cast or splint, how are you doing today? And I think that's darling. That's excellent small talk. Let's see what other people have to say. This is from someone that says they have 36 years of experience. She says, I usually say something along the lines of, hello, my name is, I'm sorry you have to be here today. Perfect. Perfect. Oh, good grief. This is probably not the best thing to throw on today. Sorry. Yeah, I think that's great. Hello, my name is Penelope. I'm sorry you have, hello, my name is Penelope. I'll be your RN for the next hour during your x-rays. And I'm so sorry you have to be here today. That's really nice. I like that communication. Okay, so this is an RN, and she sent this in 2011, so it was pre-COVID. She said, in regards to the small talk, and her picture's really funny. It looks like an orangutan. She didn't put her picture, and she put her picture, a picture of a baby. I don't know what it is. It's a very close-up of an orangutan or a chimpanzee or something. It's pretty cute. So she says, whether, yeah, her name's Anna. Whether kids, grandkids, pets, hobbies, books, movies, TV shows. I ask elderly people how long they've lived in the area, and that sometimes leads to stories about their lives. Sometimes poking fun at the way things work in the hospital can break the ice. It shows that you empathize with their frustrations about how long things can take to happen, or how many times they have to repeat their allergies, identity, what happened to bring them there, etc. Sometimes in the bowels of the hospital, wherever the x-ray department might be, it's cool. They keep things cool, you know, because there's a lot of people moving through there. The machines and things that are going on probably have to be kept at a certain temperature. You don't want them to get too warm and so forth. So poking fun at the way things work can break the ice. That's true. I like that. Empathizing with their frustrations. These are all really fantastic techniques in small talk and communicating. Offering things like, how did you sleep last night? What did you think of that game? If there was, you know, a ball game on the night before. You picked a good day to be here. Oh, this is somebody from Michigan, because if there's horrible weather, it's often going to be in Michigan. How cute. Did you get your breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Oh, your flowers, your hat, your grandchild, they're very beautiful. Sometimes silence is golden. Oh, I'm glad that came up. Patients will just appreciate you being there. So you can come into particularly if you know the patient already, either in a clinic setting or in a hospital setting or a long-term setting, you could see that they're being quiet. You could see that maybe they're trying to rest, trying to calm themselves. You could just come in and nod and smile. Good morning. You know, you don't even have to say it. Just like nod. Just be nice. Respect their quiet. Yeah, sometimes silence is golden. I agree with that. So, open-ended questions. That gives a patient opportunity to talk about themselves. Are you around? Are you from around here? What, depending on their age, what kind of work have you done, or did you do, or do you do? Do you have children, grandchildren? What are your hobbies? What do you do for fun? Um, There's a little postscript on this one, and this is from a nurse that works in CVICU, so cardiovascular ICU with 28 years of experience. Sometimes I think it's important to avoid anything that resembles religion or politics. Refrain from sharing about yourself unless they ask and you feel comfortable answering. It's another critical care nurse, CCRN. With 10 years of experience, depending on my patient's mood. If they seem like they might like to chat, I'll usually ask about their families and what sort of work they did before they retired, etc. They're usually well received. These are easier questions. Yeah, they can be, but a lot of people have distressing family situations. It doesn't always work, and you just kind of have to feel your way through it, particularly, you know, let's see what other people have to say. I specialize in med surg and oncology. I have 2 years of experience. This nurse says, my small talk, I like this because this is really what I'm trying to get at today. My small talk has a dual purpose. It helps me bond with my patient. It helps me uncover any underlying issues, frustrations, ailments that I might not have known about, that might not be in the chart. Maybe they're a new admit, or maybe they've been there for a few days, but more information is very, very helpful. If I ask the patient, how did you sleep last night? And they say not well, you might want to repeat that, not well. Can you tell me why? Or just say, not well. Then they might say, well, I tossed and turned. And when I looked at the clock at 3 o'clock, I know I hadn't had a wink of sleep. And now you're in there at 6 o'clock. So, you know, they really didn't get a lot of sleep. They say it's because they were hurting, or there's pain, or they need to talk about a scheduling issue. So that helps you in your process to see what's been ordered, what's going on, what to expect. Were they on sleep medication at home? Is it the same one the doctor prescribed, etc.? So that can really lead to a lot of therapeutic, help you with your goals and good patient outcomes. Something, maybe it's the mattress. You know, it's noisy, it's crunchy, it's not soft enough, it's not hard enough. Maybe you can get them an air mattress. Maybe they're used to an air mattress. So lots of great things come from this. She really is pretty wordy, this nurse. No, I'm not going to say that. Her name is not her name. It's really cute, actually. She used something fictitious. So a patient might sneer at you if you say, how are you doing? Not good, I'm in this place. And then there are patients who will tell you, I'm actually feeling a little better today. So be sure to listen. Be sure to listen. Don't make light when a patient says, I'm not good. You might want to say, can you tell me more about, I mean, I understand you had this fracture, but is there anything else, or do you want to tell me more about it? You know, I'm here for you. You can actually say those words or imply those words. So you can say a lot without words, actually. So this nurse is saying, to patients who sneer, I try to give them that little extra TLC. To patients who tell me they're feeling better, I use that as an opportunity to suggest an increase in activity or diet change or something which may be permitted. So you may have a standing order that says if patient tolerates soft foods, okay to increase them to the next level. So after soft, it would be solid. After liquid, it would be, after clear liquid, it might be liquid, whatever. However your standing order reads, if the patient says they're doing better, their digestion is better, whatever, you could, that's just a quick example there. Some patients in the hospital are bored, lonely, frustrated, and will appreciate any effort on your behalf for small talk. Don't be afraid of asking the wrong thing. You can always use their answer to bring a little humor or compassion into their day. So this nurse with 2 years of experience is really, really paying attention to communication. And that's very inspiring, I think. Thank you. Oh, I'll tell you what her handle was. It's really cute. Just enough to be dangerous, BSN RN. Very cute. Somebody says, I like what people have said. Give us more suggestions. So she didn't really want to comment. You can comment on really little things like shoes, hairdos. So sweet. Are you from around here? Okay, now we're getting a little repetitive. This nurse says he or she is the king of small talk. Oh, I live in blah, blah town, right up the street. Think we're going to get any more snow? You've been married 40 years. Wow. What's your secret? Cheeky. Your kids, grandkids, local. Tell me about what you do. Okay, so a lot of us use similar things. I'm touching, so I'm going to have to wash again. It's a wonder I have any skin left. I wash so much. Yeah, so small talk is really, really key because it opens up doors. As a matter of fact, some patients are been waiting, maybe they didn't sleep well, or maybe they're early risers and they've been up since, 4:30, 5:30 in the morning as they're accustomed to, and you start your shift at 7:30. By the time you get to your patients, maybe this is your second or third patient, maybe it's close to 8 or 8:30 by the time you get in there. Hopefully not. Hopefully you can get your eyes on your patient as soon as possible after 7:30. And so they have things they want to tell you already. So you can take their lead. They say, oh, good morning, good morning. I've been really looking forward to seeing you today. I have a whole list of things. So you say, great, you've got me for the next 5 or 10 minutes. And if we need more time, we'll schedule and I'll come back because I do need to get your morning medicines going and several other patients. So here, I'm yours for the next 10 minutes. And they can just, they're ready. They're ready to talk to you. But small talk is actually big talk. And their understanding may be skewed, maybe they got a little information from the wrong person. And maybe they're talking to the security guard and he'll say, oh yeah, my wife had that surgery, blah, blah, blah. And they have misinformation. So small talk can lead to you getting them the correct information. And anyway, I'm live here and I'm not hearing from anybody. I think, we're approaching our wonderful Independence Day from 1977, right? July 4th, 1977, 1777. 1776? When was our first Independence Day? So I think people are in the holiday mode, they're in the summer mode, and I'll be here. This is going to be archived. If you're not checking us out today, we're going to be here for when you are ready to take a peek. And maybe this subject is, maybe I have worn the subject out, but I just wanted to have something a little lighter to talk about, but also critically important. Communication is always going to be important for healthcare workers, for travelers. It's important in your own life, but really, really, my focus today was between the healthcare worker and the patient. and how small talk can be such a big deal and help you achieve your goals and be helpful to your patient. So yeah, so I'm sure you're using it. I'm delighted that other people were willing to share. And if somebody's saying, oh, you're so buddy-buddy with your patients, you might want to share with them that actually it's my way of achieving goals. You might want to share that with them. Yeah, you're vital. The people that interact with patients are so vital to their well-being and to sharing with the team. And it's just critical stuff in a very small way that you get to achieve things. So, okay, I think that I'm going to sign off. And July 4th is Sunday, so I'll be back the Tuesday after July 4th, which is July 6th, I believe. And I hope to have a guest for you so we can talk about some other travel nurse stories, or travel nurse or travel workers, things that may be of interest to you, may be helpful to you in your everyday processes. I know that travel nurses have unique, and travel healthcare workers have unique things that that maybe people that are on staff and don't move around a lot might not be, thinking about, like the stipends that you get for housing, or does it affect my taxes when I'm going in and out of states? I live in one state. I live in Massachusetts, and I'm traveling to New York, or I'm traveling to Hawaii. How's that going to affect my taxes? My income and my stipend, are they both considered income? So those kinds of questions come up for travelers that might not come up for those that are on staff and don't travel. We talked about a long time ago, and I haven't heard many questions about it, and it isn't my area of expertise, about traveling internationally, but that is a way to travel, and I gave some tips on that. Maybe I'll get back to that in some of the in the fall or winter months, because there are organizations, and I can give you some leads if that's something you'd like to do, or considering doing, because that is still a thing, international travel. I thank you so much for tuning in. We're here for you, the Travel Nurse Channel, and it's my great pleasure to stream live every Tuesday between 10 and 11 Pacific Standard Time. And yeah, we are here for you, a conduit between those that travel and those that employ them. Check us out at www.travelnursechannel.com, or call anytime, or you can email me, rita@travelnursechannel.com, and I can get back to you via email. Thanks so much for tuning in. I've got a little commercial. Check it out, and then I'll see you next week. Stay safe, and thank you for all you do. Where is my... Here she comes. Here she comes.
Travel nursing can bring you to places you've never been before. Tell us your story.